So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the new Jon Stones SBC and how it's crashing the market, how it's rising the market. On top of that, we'll be talking about a bunch of content we're expecting this week, and as a result, a bunch of investments you guys can go and make. But before we do go and start the video, if you guys are interested, I do offer a daily subscriber trading guide / Discord over on Twitch, and you can subscribe for free with Amazon Prime. All you gotta do is click on the top link in the description and subscribe over on Twitch. It is either free with Amazon Prime, if not it's £5 or €5. In there you receive loads of daily investments between now and the 1st of February, and then from the 1st of February it's going to change a little bit, but there'll still be plenty of investments. A bunch of investments we recommended that have done well this week were Poro, who we recommended earlier in the week at 125, going up to 142. David Neres, who we recommended earlier in the week at 27, who's up to 34. Mark Gahey went up yesterday, but I haven't got his price. Dalglish, who we recommended at 205, is now up to 250. Prince, who we recommended at 170, is now up to 230. McMahon, we recommended at 150, who at my recommended sell time was up at 190. Delo, who we recommended at 36, at my recommended sell time was 46. Delap, who we recommended at 27, who is currently up to 33. Openda, who we recommended at 88, who is currently up to around about 102. And that wraps up, the best stuff from this week's investments. And then there's a bunch of stuff that didn't do quite as well, and a few things we had to sell break even, but it's good that we sold break even because otherwise we'd be selling them at a loss now. So let's go and talk about, Rafael Leao, one of the best ones, sorry. Bought him at 100 and I think it was 180 when he's up to 250 now. And Quayle bought it at 106 up to 120 now. In fact, that's not quite done. Scott, who was bought at 37, is now up to 78, 37 and 55. They're 2 buy points and now up to 78. I think now, finally, we can get underway with the Jon Stones. It's been a lovely week for the likes of investments, and there's still plenty more. Again, if you guys are interested, you can subscribe over on Twitch. So let's go and talk a little bit about the Jon Stones SBC, because he threw the market a lot yesterday. Obviously, players he replaced Crash, players he linked up with, well, they had mixed trends. So we had the Jon Stones come yesterday, and he has been dubbed as a extremely well-demanded SBC, which is nice because when we see a well-demanded SBC, we see a little bit of movement on the market. Obviously, it's kind of a this or that Jon Stones. You've got a Jon Stones that is more favourable for centre-back, which is this one, obviously, where he's got a slightly lower pace, but he's got higher defending. Not necessarily so much physical, though. But then you've also got this one, which has Bruiser. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you, both of them can adequately play at centre-back. With really nice alternating stats. Whereas I think this one more favours maybe more of a right-back or a CDM. More CDM, I can't imagine, sorry, left-back or CDM. But I can't imagine people are playing him left-back with the left-back options we have this FIFA. So the left-back one that can go and play a ball-playing defender, and it can go and play a stopper at centre-back, and then it has a few minor ones. The playstyle he's running is Bruiser Plus, which is highly desirable. Aerial quick step, long throw anticipates, long pass, and ping pass. And then we've got the other one right here, which again, the roles this one can play is a defender and a stopper. And then we go and look at the play styles, and he's got anticipate, jockey, intercept, bruiser, block, aerial, long throw, which again is still very adequate to go and play in CDM. Well, as a result, there was a lot of demand for this Jon Stones, so we went and saw a lot of the players he replaced Crash. We talked about this literally in yesterday's video before they crashed, so hopefully you guys took the advice if you have one of these players, or hopefully had one of these players. We start off here with Delit, who went from 130 and he's down at 88k. We got Company, who went from 170 down to 120. We had Gabriel, who went from 190 down to 150. We got Dunk, who went from 113 and he's crashed down there to 82. Again, sadly recommended buying Dunk. They then obviously leaked the Stones. It kind of crashed Dunk, but we still kind of have the best case scenario, as we recommended selling on the Thursday evening when he got up to 107. Actually did creep up a little bit higher, but obviously, first selling at 107, then gamble him on the Friday, and him now being 90. Even players who weren't Prem centre-backs, we saw a pretty big drop on. Marquinhos, 160k before he came out, well, now down at 130. Even icons like Blanc, but there was a tradable icon pack yesterday that would have dropped Blanc, but still he went from 160 down there to 130. And yeah, that's some of the cards that were heavily impacted. And obviously when there's cards heavily impacted negatively, there's normally cards that are heavily impacted positively, aka the players it takes to get in the team. Now, the one thing I would say is it's not like it's an Eredivisie meta player, it's not like it's a WSL or a La Liga F, more of those minor leagues that probably people aren't running full teams of. So the problem we have is because Man City is obviously a big club, England Prem's a heavy combo. In fact, just Prem in general is quite a heavy combo, especially for well-demanded even heroes. you don't really see the link investments do anywhere near as well as if it was a player that was harder to link up. So even though we saw cards crash, we didn't necessarily see the link investments rise, unless I'd say maybe there was really nice demand for them anyway going into Weekend League. So for example, McMahon before the SBC was 190, well now up to low 200s. Salvio didn't really see too positive of an increase. We saw him at 72. Posting coming out, he's only gone up to about 80k, which isn't bad. It's up like 10%, but nothing crazy. Bear in mind some of the centre-backs are down 20, 30. We saw Delap, again, a player who was just rising consistently through the week anyway. Before the Evo was 29. Wasn't really affected by the Evo, but he's up to 33 right now. Keller Hudson-Odoi, someone I recommended when he came out. I think I recommended him at like 38, but he hasn't been too insane. Pre the Evo, 36. He then went up there to 42, then down there to 38, but back up to 43 since. Cole Palmer was someone I would have backed to do well because of him being used for previous, him doing well for previous weekly rises, and he didn't do bad. I think we recommended him at about 115. He pumped up there to 130, and since has basically sat around about 130, so it would have been like 7k profit for an instant buy. And those are the cards that rose. So you didn't see the rises anywhere near as good as the drops, and again, that's mainly comes down to how easy Jon Stones is to go and link in. So that's the Jon Stones fiasco. Kind of what's going to happen with those Jon Stones links. I think they can drop till Sunday. We might then see a rise Sunday to Friday. Although I'll be honest with you, I don't really want to buy any meta cards this week. And that's because Team of the Year is next week. Not a great rise going into Team of the Year. So I'll probably hold off of a lot of meta investments in terms of buying them on the Sunday, flipping them on the Friday. Unless maybe they're numero foot cards. Because some of these numero foot cards aren't in packs for very long, they might be good to flip. At least the ones in Team 2 and the minor releases we have now onwards. But we'll talk about that later in the video. So the other SBCs that were dropped yesterday was a double 85 upgrade. Now there was an opportunity of this to potentially make a few coins or to rise some cards over the weekend. But because it really doesn't require any fodder that's rare, I don't think it's going to affect anything like last week. Last week we saw 84s being needed on the upgrade on Friday. They did pretty well through the week. Well, because it requires an 83 rated team and an 82 rated team, if I go over here, 83s are still spammed at discard, and 82s, even though non-rares are normally quite rare, are still spammed at discard. So not really going to be something that works too favourably for rising low rated fodder. Something else that isn't really requiring high rated fodder is these 20 times double 81s you can do every single day, needing 6 rares and 2 non-rares. We also only got ourselves a challenge SBC, but there wasn't any money on that. So with there not really being money on buying fodder last night, it kind of opens up the question, when are we going to go and buy fodder? Now I would personally split fodder into 2 different segments. You've got low rated fodder, and this is fodder that could be needed for the hero SBC we expect to get this week, well tomorrow. It could be expected to be needed for like a 10 times 83 if we get it midweek, if we get a double 85. You know, maybe some pre-team of the week, pre-team of the year upgrade hypes. So you've got the low rated fodder, again I'd class that as an 84, 5 and 6. Those are the stuff that rises 4, 5 and 6. Those are the stuff that can rise consistently for the upgrade SBCs, and then you've got the more high rated fodder that's really used for exchanges. So again, 84s, 85s, and maybe 86s, but it definitely favours more 84s and 85s. Well, if I go and pull up a graph from last year, what happened? Well, this is basically the Saturday where we are today, so I'd say this is probably going to be this evening being the low point. We saw a rise on fodder between this Saturday through to this Wednesday. I mean, you could probably buy at 2k, sell at 2.7. It's not crazy, but bear in mind, it's very risky to trade with special cards. Going with gold cards actually may just be your best bet to go and invest in. And actually something I haven't preloaded up, but it won't take me very long to go and check out. I'm also interested to go and check out how did the Team of the Weeks do between this week. So what I'm doing right now is just loading up the Team of the Week equivalent, well, last year's Team of the Week equivalent, and if we head over to January, because I don't remember them working well for pre-Team of the Year. No, we're here, and that's them. So you know when Coco is rising, that's Team of the Weeks dropping. Why did Team of the Weeks drop? Because I think they were neglected and weren't needed for any of the position upgrades, so yeah. Unless maybe Team of the Weeks are down at like 11, 12k, I wouldn't buy them. And even at 11, 12k, at least if we go with last year's trends, golds would be more, well, low-rated golds would be more favourable than high-rated informed. So when are you going to go and buy the 84s, 5 and 6s, especially 4s and 5s? Well, we're going to go and buy them, I'd say, between about 8 PM to 10 PM tonight. Hopefully we don't get a well-demanded player SBC. They can go down, and then we get a well-demanded icon SBC, and maybe some upgrades on the Monday and Tuesday. When are we going to go and sell that fodder? Again, if I have Koke still up. Koke peaked on the Wednesday, so we'll probably sell about Wednesday, 6:30, 7 PM will be our sell time, because they'll go down with div rivals, and then, well, there seems to be more supply than packs since Team of the Year starting. And there's that. Now, the second segment of investments is 87s, 8s and 9s. Now, Why do we like 87s, 8s and 9s? It's a hero week, you know, there's not really the players that are elite. I don't think any of the player SBCs are overly demanded. Well, next Friday, so 6 days from now, we went and got ourselves exchange SBCs. Now, what was interesting is it was the first time we had exchange SBCs that year, but it didn't really significantly rise them instantly. So the exchange SBCs were dropped here, and then they just slowly rose over Team of the Year. But we can see the low point for fodder was the Monday, and the reason it's the low point is on Monday is because people buy some high-rated fodder to expect it going up on the weekend. We only get hero SBC. Hero SBCs aren't requiring 89s, and then they go up and up and up. Now, exchange packs are in the pack code, and they've been in the pack code since Black Friday. They've just been kind of neglected. We could have had them at any time. Well, I say we expected. There was like a semi-leak. They might come out during Black Friday, but that didn't come through. So, yeah. If we go for last year's trend, they should be this Friday. So we can go and look at buying the 89s, I would say Sunday evening, Monday morning, and then they should just rise through Team of the Year. So they might be a 2-week hold, but yeah, I mean, you could have even gone and bought them at 32, then went and sell them on the 23rd. Wouldn't have got an insane profit there, but I mean, you probably would have bought right there at about 31, and then you could probably have gone and sold there, I'd say about 37, in a time when the market's a little bit risky. Now, why would we want to go and sell on the 23rd if they kept rising? It's because on the 23rd, you can kind of buy any sort of promo card over 100k, and they almost doubled in a week. So it'd arguably be more favourable to go and sell your fodder on the 23rd, which this year is going to be the 21st, and then go and invest in your meta cards, which of course we'll talk about later down the line. So high-rated fodder, I'd say Sunday evening, Monday morning, after it not being needed. Here are the exchange packs last year. In the exchange packs, we can see that comments as of the 19th of January. Of course, the 19th of January this year is the equivalent of the 17th of January, so we expect to see upgrades, exchanges as of the 17th. So that's SBC's fodder, a little bit of investing. Let's just talk about the Evo that came yesterday. Now, it was leaked very early on that there was an Evo that fit Hamsik and all these players, and traditionally when they're very broad, especially allowing you to use high-rated Evos, they're quite underwhelming. And EA did not disappoint in the quite underwhelming quota. The upgrades were plus 15 aggression, up to a maximum of 85, plus 5 defensive awareness up to 90, plus 15 penalties up to 90, plus 5 positioning up to 90, plus 20 reactions up to 82, and plus 20 composure up to 82. No playstyles, no nothing really. Didn't create any sort of crazy upgrades, which as a result meant all the most mainstream players to be used did go and crash. Marquinhos, who was 35 when he extinct at 60, crashed down there to 40. Since then has rebounded to 60, which I thought was quite surprising. Hamsik had more of a trend than I'd expect, where it was extinct at 60, crashed down there at 80 because, again, it just wasn't demanded. Since then has rebounded to 105. So I do find it very weird that despite the very minor upgrades, people are still buying the cards, but hey to the hype. There's me just looking at Team of the Year. Have been some more SBCs leaked for the week, but I'll be honest with you, Eric Bailly playing for Valencia, Ivory Coast. I think his officially leaked stats aren't amazing. I can't imagine there's any demand for it. I wouldn't make any investments there. Likewise with Salbert, can't imagine she'll be very well demanded. Those aren't official stats, and she is 5'7", so no centre-back utility. Her base card does have CDM utility, so maybe the demand lies in the CDM. The one I can see maybe being demanded is the likes of Kingsley Coman, especially as he can have 5-star skills or 5-star weak foot, I'd imagine, on the one or the other. The only problem is I don't really back promo cards this week because we're going into Team of the Year, so I wouldn't invest in his link investments until Sunday evening anyway. And even if I was to invest in even if I was investing his link investments on Sunday, I'd say they're more risky than going with fodder. So that is that. If you guys are not aware as well, the current promo teams are only in packs till Tuesday. So the ones released on the Friday are only going to be in packs for 4 days. Well, there's a mini release of left mids and there's going to be a mini release of right backs, and they're going to be in packs for even less. So potentially be an investment there, but I think I've got to research it a little bit more before I push it. We're also getting ourselves news on Team of the Year icons. Again, they go for a starting 11, which I think is quite nice. I say starting 11, no, they're going for a team of 13. Just above a starting 11. Lovely. But yeah, we're getting players in obviously all positions. We've got Casillas, we've got ourselves left backs defenders with Carlos, Cannavaro, Bale. These aren't official stats, but these are just the official players that are leaked to be in Team of the Year. But there we go. That is our first bit of Team of the Year leaks. Very nice. I mean, they're all players, if I'm not wrong, who haven't already had promo cards. So some of them were a little bit expected. Like everyone expected Bale because EA neglected giving Bale a promo card up until now. Likewise with Pele and Eusebio. But yeah, that's going to go wrap it up. Tomorrow we'll have a video talking about the Hero SBC and what we kind of expect with fodder and metas and so on and so on. Talk a little bit deeper into that. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.